human rights, international law, and the pursuit of justice. The negotiation process was really swift. Thank you for your engagement and perseverance. We should also recognize the role of the Register for Damage. This instrument has proven its effectiveness in documenting and verifying crimes, giving victims a reliable way to have their losses acknowledged. It has become a trusted repository of evidence and a symbol of determination to build a comprehensive compensation mechanism. I would also like to share my gratitude to the Kingdom of the Netherlands for your invaluable support throughout the entire process of the negotiations of the Convention. Thank you for hosting also today's conference. Excellencies, for Poland, the establishment of the Claims Commission is not an abstract legal step. Its importance stems from our national memory. We know perhaps more than most how essential it is to address the consequences of war swiftly and decisively. We know how unresolved claims can hinder healing, reconstruction, and a nation's ability to move forward. The international mechanisms that addressed wartime damages in our region were imperfect and often incomplete. It was mentioned by many colleagues, not least the Lithuanian minister today. The international mechanism which is necessary, we believe it must first of all address the question of reparation by Russia, which must be resolved without unnecessary hesitation or procedural paralysis. Poland stands ready to contribute its experience and steadfast support for Ukraine on the path towards recovery and peace. Let today's conference represent more than an administrative milestone. Let it be a symbol of our shared resolve. We must work together to ensure that the Commission becomes a model of effectiveness and integrity. Let us remain steadfast in our support for Ukraine's recovery, sovereignty, and a rightful place in our common European future. Sława Ukrainie. Thank you.
I now have the honor to invite Mr. Antonio Alves Machado, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary, Permanent Representative of Portugal to the Council of Europe, to deliver a statement and to proceed to the signing, followed by Romania.
Excellencies, today is a historical moment. It is a day where we take an important step in our collective response to one of the most serious violations of international law in recent memory. Portugal firmly condemns the unlawful and ongoing full-scale invasion of Ukraine by the Russian Federation. This act of aggression, in clear violation of the UN Charter, has brought immense suffering to the Ukrainian people and devastating destruction to their country. For almost 4 years, Ukraine has endured loss of life, mass displacement, and the deliberate targeting of civilian infrastructure. Entire communities have been shattered. The scale of destruction is staggering. Homes, schools, hospitals, energy networks, transport systems, everything needed for a normal, dignified life. Rebuilding Ukraine will require not only immense resources, but also the full restoration of its independence and its ability to strengthen economic and social development. The International Claims Commission for Ukraine gives institutional effect to the commitments made by the UN General Assembly resolutions which condemned Russia's aggression and affirmed that Russian Federation must be held internationally accountable for its wrongful acts and must make full reparation for the damage caused. The Commission will provide an independent, authoritative mechanism to document the harm damages suffered by individuals, businesses, and the Ukrainian state, to assess claims and ensure that accountability leads to reparation. This is essential not only for Ukraine's reconstruction, but also for the return of peace to Europe, because there can be no lasting peace without justice, and no justice without the recognition of the damages inflicted and the obligations to repair them. Portugal is proud to join this collective effort. Our support for Ukraine is firm, humanitarian, financial, political, and moral. We remain committed to a just and lasting peace, to the end of the war and human suffering, and to Ukraine's full recovery and future prosperity. I wish to take this opportunity to thank the Netherlands for hosting the Commission in The Hague, continuing its strong tradition of supporting international justice. And I also wish to commend the Council of Europe for anchoring this mechanism within its institutional framework, building on the essential work already initiated through the Register of Damage. Today's ceremony sends a clear message. The international community remains united. Aggression will not go answered, and we continue with Ukraine not only in its defense, but also in its reconstruction and in its future. Today, we say again to the people of Ukraine, you are not alone, we stand together. Slava Ukraini, thank you.
I now have the honor to invite Ms. Clara Alexandra Volenteru, Secretary of State in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Romania, to deliver a statement and to proceed to the signing, followed by San Marino.
Your Excellencies, on behalf of Romania, first of all, I would like to express my sincere and deep gratitude to the Council of Europe for convening this diplomatic conference, for the adoption of the Convention establishing an International Claims Commission for Ukraine, and to the Kingdom of Netherlands for hosting us today in Hague and for hosting all the preliminary meetings and negotiations that have brought us to this outcome, which I think we can all be proud of in record time. With the crucial role and efforts of the Council of Europe and the signatory states, we are now able to adopt just and correct decisions within the purview of international law. We are able to advance a clear and concrete accountability mechanism, and hopefully more to come. And we can confidently uphold the legitimacy of these engagements and further the implementation of the claims for reparation for Ukraine. Ukraine is standing tall amongst nation states as it has continued a brave fight for freedom and sovereignty since the beginning of the war of aggression at great cost and sacrifice. This diplomatic conference carries a particular symbolism for the international legal order and solidarity for Ukraine and the Ukrainian people. After yesterday's Berlin talks, it is fitting and encouraging to find ourselves here today, adopting a convention establishing an international claims commission for Ukraine, which provides a concrete path of action for the future of Ukraine in rebuilding and reconstructing its territories and the lives of its people. Recognizing the damages suffered by Ukraine as a consequence of this war is both a moral and a material issue. The bloodshed and tears can never be truly repaid. The damage can never be undone. But we can and should provide Ukraine with reparations and the material tools to provide a future that will honor the many sacrifices that were made. Romania is proud to count itself as a trusted ally to Ukraine. We acknowledge that a secure Ukraine is a key part of the security architecture of the Black Sea region and the eastern flank, protecting all of our citizens in Romania, in Moldova, and the wider Europe. Our priorities in Romania are clear, our determination is strong, and our commitment unwavering. We will continue to stand by the Ukrainian people in their fight for a just and lasting peace and in their pursuit of a normal life that protects human dignity.
I now have the honor to invite Mr. Eros Gasperoni, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary, Ambassador of San Marino to the Netherlands, to deliver a statement and to proceed to the signing, followed by Spain.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as a founding state of the Register of Damage, San Marino could not fail to be among the founding countries and signatories of the Convention establishing an International Claims Commission for Ukraine. This decision is consistent with my country's constant and resolute positioning in defense of international law. This is all the more true and necessary in a particularly delicate, volatile and dangerous moment in history and global geopolitical context, especially for small-sized states, which, for their defense and survival, cannot resort to the force of weapons and armies, but can only rely on and hope for the maintenance and strengthening of a rule-based international order. International law is either respected or violated. The alternative to the rule-based international order is the law of the strongest, the rule of the lawlessness, arbitrariness and impunity, and the systematic violation of fundamental human rights, freedoms, and democracy. Those who reject the centrality of law and the authority of the institutions protecting it place themselves outside the international legal order and at the head of a hierarchical international order where the might is right principle prevails. San Marino strongly believes in and intends to continue to stand on the side of international law and not on the side of those who reject any authority above the state, act unilaterally, and refuse to comply with those international rules that their predecessors in the aftermath of the Second World War laid down as the foundation of the international order to save future generations from the scourge of war. Today, ongoing wars worldwide risk obliterating jus in bello and becoming, with the spread of digital technology on the battlefield, bellum internecinum. International law must apply to everyone, and it is the law that must exercise control over political power. If the opposite were true, it would be the end of democracy, rule of law, and multilateralism. Thank you.
I now have the honor to invite Mr. Carlos Moreno Blanco, Secretary General for the European Union of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Spain, to deliver a statement and to proceed to the signing, followed by Switzerland.
Excelentísimo Secretario General del Consejo de Europa, autoridades, señoras y señores. Casi 4 años después, desde el inicio de la guerra en Ucrania, la posibilidad de una paz sigue siendo lejana. No obstante, desde el primer día, España ha mantenido una postura clara. Estaremos al lado de Ucrania el tiempo que sea necesario. Así lo hemos demostrado estos 4 años y recientemente durante la visita del presidente Zelensky a Madrid el pasado 18 de noviembre, con la aprobación de un importante paquete de ayuda. Reclamamos una paz justa y duradera, que no recompense al agresor ni congele la situación actual como un hecho consumado. En este contexto, la rendición de cuentas no es un concepto abstracto ni secundario. Es un pilar esencial para la justicia y la base de cualquier paz futura creíble. Es por ello que España ha estado al lado de Ucrania exigiendo que se lleve a cabo una adecuada rendición de cuentas por los crímenes cometidos por Rusia. La creación del registro de daños para Ucrania y la puesta en marcha de un mecanismo internacional de compensación, del que este convenio es una pieza clave, son pasos coherentes con la posición que nuestro país ha mantenido desde el inicio de la agresión rusa en defensa de la soberanía, la independencia y la integridad territorial de Ucrania, y con los esfuerzos de la comunidad internacional para atribuir responsabilidades y reparar los daños ocasionados por el conflicto. La firma hoy de este convenio, por el que se establece una Comisión Internacional de Reclamaciones para Ucrania, es la respuesta legal a ese compromiso, situando al Consejo de Europa, recordemos el único contexto en el que hasta el momento se ha puesto al agresor frente a las consecuencias de sus actos, y a los Estados firmantes a la vanguardia de aquellos que impulsan mecanismos de justicia internacional eficaces. Nos dotamos así de un instrumento de reparación jurídicamente sólido y alineado con el derecho internacional, un elemento esencial para preservar los derechos de las víctimas y prevenir futuras violaciones. Muchas gracias.
I now have the honor to invite Ms. Corinne Ciceron-Bühler, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary, Ambassador of Switzerland to the Netherlands, to deliver a statement and to proceed to the signing, followed by Albania.
Mesdames et Messieurs les ministres, Excellences, je tiens tout d'abord à remercier les Pays-Bas et le Conseil de l'Europe pour leur invitation et l'organisation de cette conférence diplomatique. Elle intervient à un moment clé, un moment où l'ombre de la guerre nous rappelle l'urgence de défendre les valeurs qui nous unissent. La solidarité envers le peuple ukrainien doit être reflétée dans des mécanismes concrets de justice et de réparation. La Suisse se mobilise résolument en faveur d'une paix juste et durable pour l'Ukraine. Ces prises de position s'inscrivent dans la ligne d'une politique étrangère basée sur le droit international et engagée en faveur du respect de celui-ci. Le droit international ne laisse aucun doute. Celui qui l'enfreint est tenu de réparer les dommages causés. Cela vaut d'autant plus face à des violations aussi graves et à large échelle que celles commises par la Fédération de Russie en Ukraine. Ainsi, nous saluons la création d'une commission internationale des réclamations pour l'Ukraine. Ce mécanisme n'est pas seulement une structure administrative supplémentaire, il est un signal puissant adressé au monde entier. Il affirme que la justice n'est pas accessoire, qu'elle n'est pas un luxe à réserver au temps de calme, mais qu'elle constitue un fondement essentiel pour l'ordre international. Cette commission place les victimes de l'agression au centre de nos efforts et permet de reconnaître leurs souffrances. Elle permettra également d'établir de manière objective, impartiale et indépendante les dommages, pertes et préjudices subis en Ukraine. La reconstruction de l'Ukraine est également une tâche à laquelle nous devons contribuer, un engagement moral à partager entre États attachés à la paix, à la stabilité et un avenir juste. La commission que nous nous apprêtons à instituer est un signal clair de cet effort commun. Dès le début de ce processus, la Suisse s'est pleinement engagée afin de parvenir à un résultat qui bénéficierait d'une large légitimité et crédibilité au niveau international. Nous sommes convaincus que cette étape y contribue grandement. Le destin de l'Ukraine est lié à celui de toute l'Europe. Ce qu'il adviendra en Ukraine influencera de manière déterminante l'Europe. Il en va de notre responsabilité collective. Soyons à la hauteur de l'avenir du continent, soyons à la hauteur de l'histoire. Je vous remercie.
We will now proceed with signing the final act by members and observers in the English alphabetical order and hear their respective statements if they wish to make such statements. I now have the honor to invite Mr. Artur Kuko, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary, Ambassador of Albania to the Netherlands, to deliver a statement and to proceed to the signing, followed by Australia.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine constitutes a manifested violation of all international law, including the UN Charter. Albania reaffirms the unwavering support for Ukraine's independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity within its internationally recognized borders and its inherent right of self-defense against the Russian aggression. Ukraine is fighting for all of us. We consider the war of resistance from Ukraine as a war for democracy, for European values, European security, and for maintaining an international order based on rules, and we stand ready to continue supporting Ukraine with everything we can, with political, diplomatic, and economic means, as well as the willingness to join efforts to rebuild Ukraine as soon as possible in cooperation with other nations. Today we are marking another important step towards justice for Ukraine. Russia will be held accountable for its war of aggression and all the destruction and loss of life it causes. We stand with Ukraine. Thank you.
I now have the honor to invite Mr. Greg French, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary, Ambassador of Australia to the Netherlands, to deliver a statement and to proceed to the signing, followed by Bulgaria.
Excellencies, representatives, our shared quest for peace, justice and accountability for Ukraine is deeply felt by Australians, and particularly now, after Sunday's devastating attack at Bondi Beach, Sydney, a targeted assault on Jewish Australians on the first day of Hanukkah, where people from all over the world were congregating in peace. We Australians are grieving as we extend our deepest condolences to everyone who lost someone they love, and we thank the many around the world who have provided messages of condolence and solidarity. An attack on Jewish Australians was an attack on every Australian. There's no place in the world for this vile anti-Semitism. Australia will not be divided by hate or violence. This was exemplified by Australian Ahmed Al-Ahmed, who bravely ran towards danger, saving countless lives. We remain firmly committed to working with our international partners to eradicate anti-Semitism and all forms of racism, hatred, intolerance and aggression, and to promote peace, justice and accountability for Ukraine and around the world. In this spirit, Australia thanks the Council of Europe and the Netherlands for convening this conference. We thank also the Register of Damage and all who worked towards this milestone convention, which we have supported from the outset. We recognise the immense courage of the Ukrainian people who have suffered unimaginable loss at the hands of Russia in its brutal war of aggression. Australia therefore gladly joined consensus to adopt this convention. Russia must be held accountable for its cruel violations of international law in and against Ukraine. This Claims Commission is a critical step in this quest. Thank you.
I now have the honor to invite Mr. Emil Kishmerov, Chargé d'Affaires ad interim of the Embassy of Bulgaria in the Netherlands, to deliver a statement and to proceed to the signing, followed by Canada.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Secretary General of the Council of Europe and to the Kingdom of the Netherlands for hosting the current diplomatic conference. The Russian Federation's full-scale war of aggression against Ukraine has profoundly altered Europe's security environment. From the first day of the invasion, the Republic of Bulgaria has stood with Ukraine, providing consistent political support, humanitarian relief, and vital military and material assistance. By signing the final act of the diplomatic conference, the Republic of Bulgaria reaffirms its commitment to ensuring that victims of the Russian Federation's crimes against Ukraine receive timely and just compensation. The creation of an International Claims Commission for Ukraine constitutes a historic and decisive step towards justice and accountability. Today's diplomatic conference represents a significant moment not only for the Council of Europe member states, but also for the international community. The message conveyed is clear and resolute. The international community stands ready to respond to aggression and unlawful acts through legitimate means grounded in the international law. The Convention serves not only the pressing need to restore justice for Ukraine, but also reinforces the norm that global stability is intrinsically dependent on the timely accountability for violations of the international law. It is through our collective efforts to restore justice that we are able to reinforce our shared values and strengthen the foundations of democratic security. Thank you.
I now have the honor to invite Ms. Rebecca Netley, Legal Advisor and Director General, International Law Bureau, Global Affairs, Canada, to deliver a statement and to proceed to the signing, followed by Costa Rica.
Excellences, distingués délégués, chers collègues et amis, le Canada est honoré de participer à cette conférence diplomatique historique. Nous exprimons notre sincère gratitude au Conseil de l'Europe et au Royaume des Pays-Bas pour l'organisation de cette importante rencontre. C'est un privilège de se tenir aux côtés de partenaires unis par un engagement commun en faveur de la justice et de la paix. We are deeply humbled by the presence of President Zelensky, whose courage and leadership continue to inspire the global community. Today marks a significant milestone in our collective efforts to uphold international law and pursue accountability in the face of Russia's aggression against Ukraine. Canada remains steadfast in our support for Ukraine. In 2022, we were proud to co-facilitate the UN General Assembly resolution on remedy and reparation for aggression against Ukraine, and to join in 2023 the Register of Damage as an associate member. Canada played an active role as a member of the negotiating committee for the present convention, an institution that is a beacon of accountability. The signing of the final act today represents the beginning of a new chapter in Ukraine's pursuit of justice. The establishment of an independent and impartial International Claims Commission reflects our shared determination to uphold the rule of law and protect sovereignty. Canada's commitment is clear. We will continue to stand with Ukraine and with all partners committed to a just and lasting peace, one that guarantees Ukraine's territorial integrity and security against future aggression. We reaffirm our ambition to collaborate with key partners to advance peace negotiations, and together our resolve to ensure accountability and strengthen the foundations of peace for generations to come. Je vous remercie.
I now have the honor to invite Mr. Arnoldo Brenes Castro, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary, Ambassador of Costa Rica to the Netherlands, to deliver a statement and to proceed to the signing, followed by Czechia.
Excelencias, señoras y señores, permítame citar al poeta costarricense Jorge de Bravo. Creo en la libertad a pesar de los cepos, a pesar de los campos alambrados. Creo en la paz amada a pesar de las bombas y a pesar de los cascos. Con estas palabras, el poeta proclamó su confianza en la libertad y en la paz, a pesar de las adversidades y las tragedias. Y para que la paz sea una realidad, mi país entiende que la justicia es uno de sus componentes esenciales. Es por eso que por décadas Costa Rica, una democracia desarmada, se ha comprometido firmemente con los mecanismos del derecho internacional para resguardar la paz y la seguridad internacional. El proceso que ha llevado a esta histórica conferencia diplomática involucra a toda la comunidad internacional. A través de la Comisión de Reclamaciones para Ucrania, no solo se materializará un mecanismo efectivo para hacer justicia a Ucrania y a su pueblo, sino que se fortalecerá el sistema de la justicia internacional en su conjunto. Esperamos asimismo que esta iniciativa ayude a evitar la repetición futura de actos en contra de la paz. Costa Rica, convencida de que las iniciativas relacionadas con la paz y la seguridad deben ser lo más diversas y geográficamente inclusivas posible, se enorgullece de haber formado parte, en calidad de observador, de las etapas de negociación de este convenio y de haber apoyado la preparación en lengua española de los diferentes instrumentos frutos de este proceso. Bajo esta misma premisa, mi país también se complace en haber participado en otras iniciativas relacionadas con la justicia para Ucrania, como el establecimiento del Tribunal Especial para el Crimen de Agresión. Hoy, Costa Rica suscribe la declaración final de esta conferencia y espero unirse en el futuro en calidad de observador a la Comisión Internacional de Reclamaciones, como una muestra de apoyo a los esfuerzos por lograr una efectiva justicia internacional y un gesto de solidaridad con el valiente pueblo ucraniano. Porque como el poeta, creeremos siempre en la paz, a pesar de las bombas, a pesar de los cascos, teniendo la justicia como nuestro horizonte. Muchas gracias.
I now have the honor to invite Mr. Jiří Šle, Director General for Legal and Consular Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Czechia, to deliver a statement and to proceed to the signing, followed by Ecuador.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, the Czech Republic welcomes the adoption of the Convention establishing the International Claims Commission for Ukraine. This is another key step towards ensuring accountability and justice for the victims of Russia's aggression against Ukraine and its people. The Czech Republic emphasizes that justice mustn't remain an abstract principle. It must lead to tangible solutions for those who have suffered. The International Claims Commission will ensure that victims of Russia's aggression can exercise their right to compensation. In this regard, the Register of Damage for Ukraine has proven its effectiveness, providing a robust basis upon which the future Claims Commission can build and deliver meaningful results. We also wish to express our profound appreciation to the Council of Europe for its unwavering leadership in advancing accountability efforts for Ukraine. By offering its institutional framework, political support, and legal expertise, the Council of Europe has demonstrated its readiness to respond to international challenges, solidarity, and an enduring commitment to the rule of law. The Czech Republic reaffirms that Russia's aggression cannot go unanswered and that the Russian Federation must be held fully accountable under international law. We stand ready to contribute to this common endeavor. Thank you.
I now have the honor to invite Mr. Andrés Terán Parral, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary, Ambassador of Ecuador to the Netherlands, to sign the final act. I now have the honor to invite Ms. Katarina Gini, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary, Ambassador of Greece to the Netherlands, to sign the final act.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, Greece aligns itself with the principles that bring us together today: respect for international law, accountability, and justice. The establishment of International Claims Commission for Ukraine is a concrete and necessary step toward addressing the immense harm caused by violations of international law and restoring the rights of victims. Greece stands in solidarity with the people of Ukraine and supports all efforts aimed at justice, reconstruction, and reconciliation. We are ready to contribute to the implementation of this convention and to broader international effort to uphold the international legal order. Thank you.
I now have the honor to invite Mr. Daisuke Nagano, Minister, Embassy of Japan in the Netherlands, to deliver a statement and to proceed to the signing, and followed by the Slovak Republic.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, almost 4 years have passed since Russia launched its unprovoked war against the sovereign state of Ukraine. Countless innocent civilians of Ukraine have lost their lives, and many more have been injured as a result of Russia's indiscriminate attacks, including on critical infrastructure such as hospitals, schools, power plants, and homes. Russia's aggression against Ukraine constitutes a clear and blatant violation of international law, including the UN Charter. Japan strongly demands that Russia stops its aggression and swiftly moves towards the realization of a just and lasting peace. As an associate member of the Register of Damage for Ukraine, Japan has remained engaged for the setup of an accountability mechanism for Ukraine. Dear colleagues, today, Japan will sign the final act, and in doing so, we wish to express our commitment to working in pursuit of a just and lasting peace in Ukraine. Japan's position remains unwavering. Together with our allies, we will continue to stand with Ukraine. I thank you very much.
I now have the honor to invite Mr. Juraj Podorsky, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Slovak Republic, Ambassador to the Netherlands of the Slovak Republic, to deliver a statement and to proceed to the signing, followed by nobody.
Mr. Secretary General, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we are part of a truly historic moment today. When the UN General Assembly adopted a resolution titled Furtherance of Remedy and Reparation for Aggression against Ukraine on 14th of November 2022, some provisions may have seemed like a rather distant, idealistic aspiration. Yet, we stand here some 3 years later, demonstrating our commitment to upholding international law by creating already the second crucial element of an international mechanism for reparation for damage, loss, or injury arising from the internationally wrongful acts of the Russian Federation in or against Ukraine. Slovakia welcomes the adoption of the Convention establishing an International Claims Commission for Ukraine. We are confident
that the Commission will ensure accountability for the perpetrators and justice for the victims of illegal acts. At the same time, it should provide a tangible contribution to achieving a lasting and sustainable peace in Ukraine. I thank you.
We will now hear statements from the other Council of Europe bodies. I have the honor first to invite the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. Mr. Titus Korlajan, Member of the Parliamentary Assembly, the floor is yours, followed by the President of the Congress of Local and Regional Authorities.
Secretary General, Ministers, distinguished participants. The Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe has played a key role in the Council of Europe's legal and political response to hold the Russian Federation accountable for its aggression against Ukraine. Following its recommendation to expel Russia, the Assembly called for a comprehensive accountability system, including an international compensation mechanism with a register of damage and a claims commission at a later stage. The second of these steps is now becoming a reality with the new convention, which was warmly welcomed by the Assembly in its opinion 308 from this year. The Claims Commission will ensure accountability and redress for Ukraine, upholding the principles of state responsibility and the international legal order. Any future peace settlement must include reparations for the victims of the aggression. The Assembly will do everything in its power to support the swift ratification of the Convention and the rapid establishment of the Claims Commission, as well taking further steps toward the third component of the compensation mechanism, a compensation fund. I thank you very much.
Thank you for your statement. I now invite Mr. Mark Coles, President of the Congress of Local and Regional Authorities of the Council of Europe, to take the floor, followed by the President of the European Court of Human Rights.
Monsieur le Secrétaire général, Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, la Commission internationale des réclamations pour l'Ukraine établie aujourd'hui est une réalisation très concrète des engagements pris au sommet de Reykjavik. C'est l'affirmation que la Fédération de Russie devra faire face aux conséquences de sa guerre d'agression contre l'Ukraine et devra intervenir dans le financement de la réparation des dommages qu'elle a commis. Il est donc important d'enregistrer tous les dommages. Au niveau du Congrès, nous travaillons avec l'ensemble des collectivités territoriales ukrainiennes et leurs associations représentatives. Elle constitue un maillage crucial pour aider à la dissémination de l'information sur le registre des dommages, le faire connaître et sensibiliser la population ukrainienne à son importance pour que la commission de réclamation puisse statuer et que le lien avec les violations du droit international par la Russie soit établi. Et je voudrais terminer en rappelant les paroles que la présidente moldave a dites ce matin. Il faut apporter un soutien suffisant à l'Ukraine pour que la Russie ne poursuive pas sa guerre. Eh bien, il nous appartient à tous. Il nous appartient au niveau local, au niveau national, au niveau européen et international à apporter ce soutien à l'Ukraine. Je vous remercie. Slavia Ukraini.
Thank you for your statement. I now invite Mr. Matthias Rielmar, President of the European Court of Human Rights, to take the floor.
Dear Secretary General, Excellencies, In my capacity as President of the European Court of Human Rights, I'll welcome the adoption today of a convention establishing an International Claims Commission for Ukraine. Accountability for violations of human rights and reparation for the victims are two equally important sides of the same coin. The Court is the judicial body of the Council of Europe. The future Commission will also operate under the Council of Europe umbrella. Their roles are complementary. As part of its adjudication of thousands of cases lodged with it each year, the Court continues its mission of holding Russia accountable for human rights violations, even after the country's expulsion from the Council of Europe. Of the 16,000 pending cases before the Court in September 2022, when Russia ceased to be a party to the European Court, half have already been decided. And the most emblematic example of the Court's judicial role in that regard is its recent historic ruling in Ukraine and Netherlands versus Russia, delivered last July. The Court's Grand Chamber unanimously held Russia responsible for gross and widespread human rights violations committed in the context of the conflict in Ukraine since 2014 and even February 2022. It also held Russia accountable for the dunning of flight MH17. The Court is currently the only international judicial body to hold Russia accountable for violations of human rights protected by the Convention. Through its findings of violations of individual rights, the Court supports the sovereignty of Ukraine, and for its part, the Commission will do the same. The Court's judgments are a historical record, a bill of accountability, and a message to future generations. Human dignity cannot be erased, truth cannot be silenced. Thank you.
And thank you for your statement. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, as we conclude this historic diplomatic conference, I wish to thank all participants for their engagement and commitment. The adoption of the Convention represents a milestone in our collective pursuit of justice and accountability. I now declare the conference closed and invite all heads of delegation to proceed to the family photo in the Mississippi room before joining the lunch hosted by the Secretary General of the Council of Europe in the Yangtze 1 room. Thank you.